Diego Pavia is the most important player in college football.
You are Locked On Vandy, your daily podcast on the Vanderbilt Commodores, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yo, what's good, everybody? What's up? It's Locked On Vandy on the Locked On Podcast Network. Joining me is Joejuan Williams. He is back and better than ever. We got a lot to talk about. Action-packed show. We're going to take a peek at Georgia State. We're going to talk about how vital it is to control the line of scrimmage in the SEC and why Vanderbilt is excelling at that. But first, I want to talk about Diego Pavia being the most important player in college football. And Joejuan, before you give me your answer, this episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. So, as I said, Diego Pavia is the most important player in the country, the most important player in college football. Joejuan, why is that?
For me, I see it as Diego Pavia is the heartbeat. He's the heart and soul of the team, man. Of course, everybody plays a vital role, but that quarterback position, whereas the leadership that he shows, the energy that he shows is contagious. When your quarterback has a drive and a will to win, and you see it outside daily, it's just contagious. It melts down from not only from the quarterback to the offense, but to the defense, to special teams, to the coaching staff, to the fans. And so just having that energy there, and seeing him the way that he is week in and week out, I mean, it only makes you want to be a fan, you know. And you can see that is the engine that's driving Vanderbilt football right now.
And the fire, the passion, the energy that he brings to the table, like you said, elevates everybody. But as a corner yourself, you're sitting there on the sideline, you're drinking your Gatorade, you're watching, you're like, oh, that's a cool play. And then you see number two, like a freaking missile, come through and block on a reverse and just he didn't lay the guy out, but he had the intention to. He just kind of bounced off of him. The guy was already running away from him, so he didn't get a good shot. He got a good shot on him, but it wasn't like a knockdown shot. As a defensive player, you see that out of your quarterback. Like, what is going through your head?
That's what I'm saying. Seeing that effort and seeing that energy and that will to win from your quarterback, where you don't, it's not status quo to see quarterbacks out there going and diving out and giving blocks, scrambling, breaking tackles, making plays happen like that. So to see that from your quarterback, it only gives you it only gives the energy even more. If you feed into the energy even more, it gives you more juice. And so I love seeing Diego out there, man. He's doing a great job for Vandy. It's like we talked about before the season started. It's going to start with him. And he's shown over these first three games that his energy is contagious. And I mean, he's the heart and soul of making this train go.
Well, that's not all he brings. As we talked about, you and I, and I've talked about it ad nauseum. I've talked about it with Kurt Page. Anybody I come across, I have talked about this topic. But coming into the season, the thing I wanted Diego Pavia to improve on was already building on what he does well already, which is scrambling, running in quarterback design run schemes, throwing quick game and RPO. But I wanted his pocket presence and his pocket awareness to improve. Not bailing out when you shouldn't, hanging in there and making your reads and throwing the ball downfield from the pocket. We know he could do it on the move. And also his deep ball accuracy, which I think both of those things improve. What do you think has led to that? How do you feel about his improvement in those areas?
You see that as last year was his first year. First year there, first year with not his first year with the OC Kill, but their first years there at Vandy. There's going to be some adjustments joining a new program and having new things. And then it's easy to go off of how well they did and how well they ended last year with the bowl win. So you got you got more hype. And it's more. You got an extra year now with him with the NCAA, soon the NCAA. For him to be eligible for a whole nother year. Now you're able to really fine tune the details over the summer. fine tune the details over the spring of, okay, this is what we had initially. This is what we first came in as. Now we can fine tune everything over this offseason and build and be an even well-oiled machine, going into this new year. And that's what I see. I mean, right now he's about at 650 yards passing. How many? 5 or 6 touchdowns?
I'll get the exact stats for you.
And only a couple of interceptions. I mean, he's doing great.
His stats right now, he is 50 of 68 for 73%, 645 yards, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Yep. And so love seeing his stats. That just shows how much, how well he's put in, how well he's adjusted to being at Vandy for a whole year, with this program, and really has bought in and really fine-tuned those details up. And so it's all about staying consistent now. That's the biggest thing for him, is to stay consistent with what he's doing. And I completely believe that he will.
Yeah, and he's only got 129 yards rushing on 30 carries, which means he's not – and it's by design. He's not had to make a huge impact in the run game himself. He's had other people to be able to do that for him. He's had Caleb Barnett as a pitch guy, Cedric Alexander, McKalen Young. Those guys have really made a huge impact and stepped up in the run game, so that when he does run the ball, it's more advantageous. And when he does run the ball, he's not taking all these unnecessary shots. He's actually running into some clean run lanes. He's taking better care of himself too, which is huge down the stretch, because these games are winnable, man. And
very much so.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. I mean,
I was going to say, man, it's very much so. And I love that you talked about really establishing the run. I think we're about averaging about 200 yards per game on rushing.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And we're an offensive line shirt, by the way.
Oh yeah. I mean, you already know as an offensive coach, it's all about establishing the run first. And so if you're able to establish the run first, it just makes the defense think. You got to think about running the ball. Now it opens up the passing game. It all ties into each other. And so to have a great running game, now it kind of opens up the offense to get that ball to Junior Sherrill, to get that ball to Eli Stowers, and for those guys to make those plays. And we have some reliable target. Like, the thing is, which I love to see from Vandy, is we have reliable targets at receiver. We have a great run game. It's very much well balanced. And I think that they kind of talked about it during the game last week on our OC changing up the run game from the first year to this next year. And we just talked about it, about the improvement over a year. You're able to see what you did. You're able to see what you established on that first year, that foundational year. Now you're able to build on it, tweak things, and fine tune it. So not only from Diego Pavia, but you see that also from the OC and in the whole team, overall. So you love to see it, man. I'm excited about these boys.
Absolutely, dude. You talk about weapons. Martell Hite's starting to become a bigger role on offense. I had to laugh because he got a penalty for a blindside block, because he's got that defensive mentality. He's just going to come up.
Yeah, I saw that.
He doesn't quite know the details yet, but I love the physicality, and I love the impact he's starting to make. I think it took him a minute to kind of get adjusted to that side of the ball. He made a ton of plays in practice. He had some setbacks in fall camp. He had a concussion and missed a lot of time, and didn't get a ton of reps offensively because he just missed time in fall camp. So these are the reps that he's getting. But I think probably starting with the Alabama game and going through the rest of the season, so the back half of the season, I think is where he's going to make his biggest impact on offense.
Yep. And I love to see him go both ways on offense and defensive side of the ball. I'm all for it. At the end of the day, if you can do it, he's obviously doing it at a high level right now. And so you love to see it. Go out there and continue to make plays. It only adds, not only you got a playmaker on offense, you got a playmaker on defense. Hey, you go make a play on defense, turn me up. I'm ready to go kill somebody. I'm ready to go get a clean block on offense. And I mean, that's what you see right there. And so, I'm excited about the playmakers that Clark Lee has built in this program. And so it's just good. It's just really good to see. It's a breath of fresh air. I got a lot of trash talking that I'm doing right now to my old teammates that went to other colleges, and it's all because I'm all thankful for the squad right now. I'm very happy 3 weeks in.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. And real quick, did you ever go see Coach Mace and say, "Hey, Coach, I'm tall, I'm fast, I can jump. Maybe throw me in the red zone package somewhere. Like maybe give me a jump ball. Let me go get one." No. Did you shut it down?
No, I definitely asked for kickoff and punt returns, and he definitely shut that down very quick because he said I was too tall. And so, but it's funny, man. Me and my friend was actually going through our old highlights, and I found 2018 Arkansas. They tried at the halftime. They tried a 50 or 60-yard field goal. Mm-hmm. And I just ran back there. One of the coaches told me to get back, so I ran back there in the back of the end zone, caught it, ran it out, juked 3 guys, made it to the 50. I was walking in the halftime so hyped. You could see me on the sideline just going crazy.
Too bad there was no time after that. So
man, that's what I was saying. It was really all I wish was just nobody was there. I cut it back. If I cut it back and there was nobody there,
you would have housed it.
I would have housed it. But it was cool to see because I completely forgot about that memory until then. So it's funny that you brought that up. That was kind of my only offensive side of offense outside of defense. My only type of return I've ever had in college. But I made it the best I could.
Oh, absolutely. Do you want to talk about the line of scrimmage?
Man,
let's do that next. Let's do it next. That's a tease right there. I want to talk to you first, though, about Prize Picks, Joejuan. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in. And you can finally play now that you're out of the NFL. So with football back, Prize Picks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes, all in less than 60 seconds. So it's a fun way to stay locked into the season. And for me, it's a quick way to follow my fantasy lineup, right? I got Nico Collins going right now as we record this. And I had Saquon Barkley going yesterday. So it's just the more or less is outstanding. And the best part, if one of your picks misses, Prize Picks has invented the flex play, so you can still double your money. What do you think about all that?
Hey man, to each his own. Not really a gambler when it comes to it, but everybody got their own things.
Absolutely. Well, if you have your own thing, if you ever think about it, Prize Picks is the way to go. So download the Prize Pick apps today and use code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONCollege for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Thanks for making Locked On Vandy your first listen. And Joejuan, thank you for joining me. If you need a second listen, Locked On SEC with Chris Gordy covers the entire conference. It was a hell of a week last week in the SEC. Lots of great games. Vandy being included in one of those. Georgia, Tennessee was an instant classic. LSU, Florida was a good game. Texas A&M said, you know what?
It was a big game.
All you guys hold my beer. We're going to be the best game of the night. They did their thing up at Notre Dame. So great weekend for the conference. But Chris Gordy has all of that on his show. But here's what I want to talk to you about, Joejuan. Controlling the line of scrimmage in the SEC. We all know that this is a line of scrimmage league. Just in general, and we'll get more specific offensive line, defensive line, and just how we're actually doing it. But how vital is it to have control, or why is it vital to have control of the line of scrimmage in the SEC? We know it is vital, but why?
It always starts up front. That's the first from a defensive perspective. We always talk about knockback. You get knockback from when I got to high school college, and then NFL, you always hear the defensive coach talking about getting knocked back, getting to the quarterback as quickly as possible. You create pressure on the quarterback. Great things happen for the defense. You look at this team at Vandy, and especially now going into SEC play, our O and D line looks very good. I mean, we just talked about 200 yards, averaging 200 yards a game rushing. That just gives you tip your hat to the offensive line for there. We got great rushers, with Pavia, with our backs, our circle of backs in. At the same time, you got to really tip your hat to the front line because they make those plays happen starting out. And then defensively, we've given up 10, averaging 10 points per game. You think about that.
7 points in the last 6 quarters, just so you know.
Man, I love to hear it. As a defensive guy, I love to hear it.
Yeah.
And so, and you hear about that, and it starts up front. 10 points a game, that starts up front. You're shutting down the run game. You're getting pressure on the quarterback. And it's not like we're sending ultra blitzes all the time. I mean, we drop back, send 4, you're good. And be able to send 3 to 4 guys, be able to send 3 to 4 guys on the front line and get pressure, and the pressure that they're getting, I mean, it only goes to show that's you're giving hell to the offense. It's going to be a long night. If you can just send 4, because now when we do send 5, we do send 6, it's getting home easily. And so that's where ultimately I saw the most improvement from Vandy over these past couple years, is really getting their line right, because we're getting pressure on the quarterback from a defensive standpoint. And now we're creating, our running game is going through the roof. And so I'm excited to see that. It definitely starts on both sides of the ball at the line of scrimmage.
And there's a lot to unpack there, because you have the 200 yards rushing from the offensive line standpoint, and then you have the 7 points in 6 quarters, 10 points a game from the defense. Now, obviously, the recruiting, the portal haul, and all that stuff has been great, and you've gotten great, talented guys. But at the end of when you really look at it and you drill down deep, these guys don't have a lot of pedigree, but they have a lot of ability. And I think the recruiting has been where they're looking more at ability and not star rankings. But when you get all these guys together, and I'll start with the defensive perspective here. When you get all of these guys on campus, how do you figure out what to do with them? You get a bunch of I know you haven't had a lot of chance to deal with a lot of transfers because you weren't in the transfer portal era, but getting these guys on campus, they're all meeting each other for the first time, and they got to get used to kind of playing in sync. The scheme's been great, by the way. How does that work?
I say this: you chalk that up to great play from our personnel, great play from Clark Lee down. Barton Simmons as a GM, you see those guys, and you see Barton Simmons, Clark Lee. They make the coaching staff here. They make that run together. That is where the coaching staff really is supposed to come in and shine, because you do have a lot of incoming guys. It's not like you have a freshman class that's been here for now they're juniors, and now they're finally starting to get their toes wet and really understand the concepts. It's really, hey, we're bringing in a lot of guys. Some teams bring in 60 guys. Some teams bring in 50 guys per year, new guys that come in and have
one of those too.
Impact. And so that's where you come in with the coaching. That's where the coaching staff is going to make, hey, we're going to break this down for you and make this as simple as possible, so we can get you to go out there and not think about much and just go play. Make it very simple for us to go out there and go play and go make plays. And so that's where I feel like when it comes to the transfer portal, when it comes to new guys bringing in, that's where our coaching staff steps up. And that's where I'm very proud of them at as well, because, again, I've never had to go through any of the transfers or anything like that. But you also see it from an NFL perspective of new guys come in every year, signing. But at the same time, we're professionals, so it's a lot different from 18 to 22-year-olds, versus 20 to 20 to 35-year-old guys, playing. So it's a whole different mindset. And so that's where our coaches come in and step up at. And you got to tip your hat off to them as well. That's why when I talk about Vandy football, we just have pieces in every single place, not just offense, defense, from coaching staff to GM to everybody that's made in the play. That's where you can see that it's a well-oiled machine overall.
Absolutely. And it is starting to become more and more of an NFL structure as we go. And I'm fine with that. I think eventually getting the guardrails, a lot of the guardrails that you can take from the NFL, obviously you can't have all of them because it's still different. But I think the only thing that's going to be different within the next 2 years is just the age range. But I really like how Clark Lee has gotten ahead of that. He's structured his staff, not only his coaching staff, but you have a scouting staff, you have a recruiting staff, you have your GM and who sits atop all of that in Barton Simmons, and you have your team of analysts who can coach on the field now. And there's a whole intertwined thing of staff that feeds all into this beast that is Vanderbilt football. And the fact that they've gotten ahead of that has been amazing. And the fact that they decided that, hey, NIL is going to be a thing here, that's also amazing, because as you know, because you're born and raised here, Nashville is one of the top 10 cities in America. It's one of the fastest growing cities, if not the fastest growing city in America. So all the opportunities you have is endless. So I'm all for it, and I'm glad they're finally starting to kind of realize that.
Yeah, definitely. And like you just touching on what you just talked about, Nashville is booming now. And so to see Vanderbilt starting to really put money into sports, you see old guys, alumni come back and donate into Casey Hayward this past offseason donated $1 million to the football program. And you see those type of movements towards athletics, something that wasn't had in the past years, of where, me hearing stories about coaches fighting just to get a locker room built, James Franklin to even build the indoor, now money is getting poured into Vanderbilt, and you start to see the payoff. And it's great because we're in a great city. You're in the SEC. What more could you want? And so now it's all about continuing to stay consistent with pouring in and investing in the Vanderbilt athletics, and you're going to see the payoff because we're in a great situation.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And so being in a great situation is always key, and being consistent, winning, things like that, taking the easy wins, taking the layups, and then going out and getting Bama again, or go out and upset LSU because they come in at 11 o'clock. So speaking of those layups, though, we're going to talk about Georgia State here in just a second. We're going to do that next, so sit tight. All right, game time. College football's back. I could be more excited. The tailgates, the rivalries, the energies in the stands, there's nothing like it. But let's be real. Actually getting tickets can feel more like a battle than the game itself. You have endless queues, hidden fees, prices jumping at checkout. It's all one that makes you pull your hair out, right? So that's why I use Game Time, the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the easiest way to score last-minute tickets at the best prices with no surprise fees. What you see is what you pay. So I pulled up Game Time, and in just a couple taps, I saw amazing deals. I'm talking about any of your favorite college football games for as low as $25. I had a friend of mine, Joejuan, who took a trip out to LA. He went to the USC game. They were playing, I can't remember who, I think they were playing Georgia Southern, and he got probably midway up on the 40-yard line for $25 a piece.
That's a deal.
That's because he used Game Time, and it's amazing. And the app made it super simple. He could see the exact view from his seat before he bought. He picked the section, and Game Time picked the seats. And that's, that came with some more savings, and, it's just faster, cheaper, and less stressful than any other way I've bought tickets. So take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. All right, wrapping up the show here, Locked On Vandy. Got Joejuan here for the next few minutes. And in the words of the great Yogi Berra, it got late early. So, Joejuan, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me Twitter, Instagram, Joejuan W. That's JoeJuanW. Appreciate any support.
Absolutely, man. Go give him some love. Go follow him and, return the favor. So, Joejuan, Georgia State. This game coming off two massive beatdowns where you clear out an opponent's stadium. You go down to Georgia State last year, and it was just probably one of the weirdest games I've ever seen.
Yes, definitely.
And Vanderbilt's been involved in some pretty weird games where you're just like, what? But this one was weird because there was no energy. You had it won. Then you lose it on the last second play where I think
deep ball.
The deep ball, yeah. And the way I saw that was that I think he thought he had safety help over the top. And so what it looked like to me is he was playing trail technique because he thought he had a safety coming over and it would be fine. And there was no safety to be had. And he just got beat. So, or it looked like he got torched, but he really didn't. That's kind of how it felt to me.
See, I see those plays. I even see those plays, one play doesn't make the game. At the end of the day, we came in there and again, we played those were the type of games where you hear about Vanderbilt playing to the level of their opponent. And for me, that's where I remember watching that game and being in Georgia while that game was going on and just watching it and seeing how we were playing. And it's like, yeah, we're playing to the level of our opponents and you're taking your foot off the gas. And I mean, obviously from there, we start a couple weeks later, we beat Bama, we go on a run. So hopefully we're able to go look back at that tape and realize, okay, we got to keep our foot on the gas now this year and keep that as a testament of like, okay, look, this is what can happen if we show up, if we show up to this game and we play around. We don't give it everything. We don't keep our foot on that gas. With that already happening last year, I don't see that happening again this year. Right. I really don't. So hopefully it's all about our energy coming into the stadium this next weekend, and going from there. But with everything that Georgia State has, I just don't see it happening for them. And what we have, this momentum that we already have going on, I just don't see Georgia State presenting a problem unless we just go out there and have a catastrophe.
Yeah, now they got some sporty players here on their team, like TJ Finley coming in at quarterback. He signed 2 weeks ago. Right before the season started.
He's been everywhere, hasn't he?
Yeah, this is number 7 for him, I think. This is crazy.
LSU, I remember seeing it. He started out at LSU, then he went to Auburn.
Did you play against him? Is that how old he is?
No, I never played against him. I just remember him being a top recruit, being one of the top recruits in the nation, and then him joining LSU, and then going – I remember him joining Auburn. But then once he left Auburn, I didn't know where he went.
He went on a journeys where he went, and he Atlanta. I think he picked off Jay Cutler when Cut was at Vanderbilt. I think that's how long he's been playing. I think he's been playing 37 years here in college football.
Now with the college football rules, man, you can be here for a long time, man.
Eligibility's a myth. He might be able to come back.
Hey, man. Hey, if I came back to Nashville with the NIL,
it would be filthy, man. Because can you imagine you on one side, Colby Taylor on the other, with Martell Height rolling in? Can you imagine the quarterback room there? Because you have twin towers with you and Colby Taylor. Yeah. You have Martell Height, who's an absolute animal. Yeah, he may not be human.
I was thinking about our 2018 team versus this 2025 team. And we had a lot of pieces. We ended up 6-7 losing the bowl game, but we had a lot of pieces that really that could really ball, and a lot of NFL guys on those teams. And I look at this team here. I would have loved, like, as much as I loved my 2018 team, I would have loved to play for the 2025 team as well. Just because we talked about earlier, Diego Pavia, the heart and soul of, this team, what he gives into this team, and then the playmakers on defense. At the same time, too, I still got to give it up to 2018. I'll never, you feel me? Like, I can never go back against my guys, man. I would love to go against this 2025 team. I would love to go against Pavia, just the competitor in me. And I know the competitor in Pavia, I would love to go against these boys. I would love to lock up Gerald. I would love to go against all of them. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
So, yeah, Georgia State, man, TJ Finley, he's going to be, he's been pretty good for them, 32-47, 351 yards passing on the season. Rashad Amos, running back. Ted Hurst is the receiver who caught that ball a year ago. And so this, and they have Branson Robbins, who is an absolute unit, who transferred it over from Georgia. I didn't realize that he transferred from Georgia, but that dude is he's a unit. So they have some pieces. I don't know if they're quite putting it together yet. Ted
Hurst? Is that the same guy that made the catch last year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Same guy.
So that's gonna be
back. Yeah, that's gonna be quite the matchup. But we have the corners that can do it, and I don't see this. Last year was just, again, it was all mindset. I mean, the roster was way imbalanced a year ago, and the roster's only gotten better. So, I mean, honestly, this matchup is really, to me, and you said it best, it's all about mindset. It's just going in, put your foot on the gas immediately, and don't let it off, even when the backups are in.
Yep.
Give your backups a chance to get in and just roll.
That's the biggest thing, and that's the position you want to be in, and that's the position where you want to show as a team, and it's only going to build the morale of this team headed into these next few weeks. You got a couple weeks of these games with Georgia State, but then you got 2 weeks. You got Bama, so you want to be on a roll these next 2 weeks to have as much momentum as possible going in. And so these games here, I call them the cupcake games. You gotta go eat. You gotta go eat. You gotta go. These are the games you set up for to build that momentum going into the bigger games and going into the depths of your season where it's all SEC play. And Absolutely. So these are the games we gotta have and gotta not only have but roll over. Like, these guys, for me, in my mindset, it's like these guys have nothing on Vanderbilt. As good as they played, Georgia State had one of their best games last year, against Vandy. But in my mindset, this team right now is like they got nothing. At the same time, you got to go out there and still go play down after down, like we said, with your foot on the gas, knowing that, like, man, these boys can't stop me. At the same time, no, I'm not letting up. Like, I'm not going to lose sight or lose focus of what's coming up. Right now, I'm focused on this play, this drive, and keep the process going until the clock strikes zero.
Absolutely. And last word, Joejuan, 26.5 point spread. We cover, right?
Point spread. Yeah, I'm saying the cover.
There you go. Hey, you've been listening to the show long enough. You're just going to take the cover, man. I love it. I love it. I love how bullish you are. I'm rubbing off on you, man. It's
hey, man, look, again, the numbers we've been putting up against some good teams. I'm definitely saying 26.5. I'm definitely going.
Yeah,
definitely cover.
Low spread. I'll take it. I might,
It'll make you some money.
Start gambling, you might want to go take that. But so anyway, well, Joejuan, it was fun, man. I got to have you back more regularly. This is going to be a thing, man. I kind of the Monday evening or the Tuesday morning quarterback, however we want to describe it. Your appearances, and give it a special name if you want. But it was good having you, man. It's always good seeing you.
For sure.
So
appreciate it.
Until next time, anchor down.